The first dude that like tried to like get on a horse must have been so tired of walking. Like, you know how tired of walking you gotta be to be like, I'm gonna get on top of this shit. I am so tired of walking everywhere. Let's jump on top of this shit right now.
Yo, dead ass, just like chilling, just like, yo, that shit looks strong, man.
They're
I
like,
know,
don't
you know,
get
that
on
shit
top
look
of that.
really strong. It's like, yo,
nah.
what are you doing? They're like, nah, man, that shit looks strong as fuck. Like, always chilling. Like, why can't it carry my weight?
And it's fast. Like, and then the fucked up part is like, you gotta break a horse in to ride it, like, consistently. Yeah. So, like, he spent like the whole day on the first horse.
Just like, yo, come on, man. Just relax, all right? Like, just let this happen.
They're like, just leave him alone.
like, stop. Nah. Adbenteu. Just leave him alone.
It's like, fuck that.
He's like, no, I'm tired of walking.
I'm tired of walking.
God damn it. Oh, wow. Oh, leave me alone, Sling.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in.
yeah, we should start.
That's a great place. Let's start. If you're just tuning in, happy Thanksgiving.
It hasn't happened yet, but happy Thanksgiving.
I mean, like, you know what.
Don't you fucking skip Christmas. I mean, don't you skip Thanksgiving. Sorry, I'm a little out of it today. Anyway. But don't you fucking skip Thanksgiving.
I'm your host, Logan, and this is the Milk and Toast Podcast. I'm here with my best friend, Mitch. Say hi to the people, Mitch. He just said hi and whale.
I'm sad.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Sooner or later, we're going to start doing live chats on YouTube. So that's going to be really fun. So tell your friends, tell your grandma.
Go tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
Go tell your friends about it.
What else do you need to follow us on? Oh, yeah. Of course, like and subscribe. Anytime you see the podcast, just like it. I don't care where it's at. Just be like, oh, shit, it's there. Like it.
Like that shit, and I'll put the pistol to your spine down.
All right. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but okay. How you doing today, Mitch? Mitch, I know how you doing, but like for the show, how you doing?
Oh, God, having to do it again. I'm doing actually really fucking shitty. It's a bad mental health day for me. I'm ready for tomorrow, but I'm still here for y'all.
All right. We thank you for your service.
Fuck you.
He's like, I came in for y'all. I'm like, okay.
No, you just remember that episode? It was the Family Guy Star Wars like thing where Lois is like, "Oh, Han, I love you," and he's just like, "Fuck off." I just always thought that was funny, so I do that in little spots when I can.
What Star Wars character you think you are?
Why would you ask me that now? Mace Windu.
You think you're Mace? I think you're more Lando Calrissian. But
Enough said.
You're definitely more Lando.
You think of me as a Lando, bro?
Out of all
I think
like
of you
Star
as
Wars,
a Lando.
Me? That's a high compliment. I like that.
Just because. Well, it's just. I don't think like I got style to that level. And also, I'm not I'm not smugglery enough because I don't really do like stab you in the back type of shit. You know how smugglers be, bro. We're not gonna pretend like we don't know how smugglers be. Like we like to pretend like Han was the greatest person in the world. When it's like, no, Han was a scumbag like most of the universe. Met Luke and the Force was like Jesus trying to find disciples, bro. Like, yo, Han, just be good for a little bit. You know you should do good. And Han then Han meets Leia and is like, and the Force is like, if I use Leia in the proper way and carry the 4, I might be able to get Han to like carry this young Force user across the universe for me. Han, help save the galaxy and shit. Come on.
I mean,
Leia's pretty.
Okay,
Leia's pretty. So no, I don't think I could be a smuggler like that. I've always considered myself like more Jedi or obviously a Sith, but we won't get into that.
That's like the most backhanded compliment. You said that I both have style and I'm very smugglery. Like it just
well, so the style part is just a compliment in itself, but it's not really necessarily about the style part. I could maybe, even though I'm not really a fashion person like that, I could maybe work into that. It's just the smugglery part. I definitely don't feel.
I think you just have like an a unique, like eclectic style to you. Like it's not like every day.
Oh,
like
thanks,
when you
man.
want it, like when you want to like really dress up, it's like some shit that's not like regular.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
I don't even enjoy it. Like I'm really just not that type of dude. Like people, I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy, like to my heart and soul. It's like I don't really enjoy wearing dress clothes, and I have multiple reasons for that, steeped in like classist ideology, I guess. But nonetheless, it's like, And the thing that sucks about it is because my parents know how to fucking drip like crazy.
Nah,
bro, like my parents be ODing for like no reason.
Oh, man.
I mean, they like classical Haitians in that sense, bro. They like dressing good and they like love style and shit like that. I remember seeing pictures of my dad like cleaning up in suits and being like, "Dang, man, you look great." I hate that shit.
You're like, I'm supposed to surpass this?
It's not even like that because like they would help me. They just be like, "Oh, you need here, like." There you go, Mitch. Just like here's some dress. Here's a tie, and a jacket, man. Just go find some shoes. I'll be like, all right. But yeah, I'm just not like that. So yeah, and then I feel that's the other part to being a smuggler. Like you got style, and then you like stab people in the back sometimes, and you fucked up shit. That's how it feels. But yeah, Mace Windu.
All right. I don't know. Like he's just so angry. Like he's too
Mace
angry
Windu's
to be
not angry.
He is. He's got a channel.
No, that's just because Samuel Jackson played him, bro.
I mean, it's a reason for that shit.
No, that was just his fake. Because every time you looked at Mace Windu and Samuel Jackson played him, this motherfucker was giving somebody a stern look. But in truth, like that was just his face. Like Mace Windu was never mad, but he was like intense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like real, like
like Anakin. But he was also like black stepdad of the Jedi Council. Bro, you know George Lucas did that shit on purpose. It was like, yeah, like I wouldn't have cast Sam as Mace Windu, but like it worked.
You know what? Talking about angry black people, I wanted to get on this for a second. It's on one hand, like people hate like the angry black person stereotype, but then like it's kind of worse to be the non-intimidating black person.
I don't want to talk about it.
Like it's bad, right?
Bro,
like,
I chose a life of being like, you know what? I'm gonna go out my way to not be angry black man, and the entirety of my life up till then, I've literally regretted it. I think I'm gonna turn 30 next year, and I'm be like, I entirely should have been this hood ass thug nigga, just living his best life. And now when I think about it, I'm like, no, all this time not being angry black men at white America was the wrong decision.
Was the wrong decision.
was the entire wrong decision. Hey, little boys and girls, you know how they tell you to grow up calm? Nah, fuck that shit. Don't stop being mad at the answers. Like, don't stop being angry at all.
No, like, that's why I'm like all like squinched up is because like my armrests are like in a like all the way up. Like I'm like, why am I like looking like that?
Okay, that was a weird transition because I thought she was gonna bring that back on. Yeah, see, I'm just all crushed up because I haven't been angry black, and I was like,
oh no, no, I'm definitely angry.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm mad all the time. I need therapy.
Me too. Which
but no,
I've
like
started to pursue.
I saw like it was like the first episode of Atlanta where like Donald Glover's talking to that white dude and the white dude says nigga.
The white dude
like
he rolls up with Paperboy, right?
Yeah. And so like Donald Glover talks to the janitor and he's like, hey, he ever say nigga in front of you? And he goes, hell no. He said, I'm sticking my foot up his ass.
Yeah, I was like, yo.
I was like, damn, you got played.
That's real shit though. And that's why, and that's exactly why I'm like, nah. Be angry. Not being angry black man is a part of white supremacist propaganda. And like, that's only
to make you docile. To make you docile.
Exactly. Yeah. To make you docile. That's only like a quarter or less of a joke because we're also just not angry people. People forget like African people like, and I'm bringing it back to Africa, genuinely tend to not be super like angry or aggressive. People forget that people came to that country and enslaved them.
Yeah.
Even the Warren tribes, like there was, like it's not even because of anger, it's because of resources and shit like that.
Can you imagine you go to somebody's house, you start shit, and they be like, and then when you leave, you like, damn, they be wilding. Like,
yeah, what was What's wrong with them, yo?
What's wrong with them? I don't understand.
I'm like, geez. All right. Well, anyway, Barbara. But yeah, man, that's like white supremacist propaganda when you think about it. And that's in general just like propaganda to make people more docile. Like, don't fight for your right. Don't get angry when I abuse you and use you.
Right.
And that's how it's supposed to work, man. And maybe if you keep letting me abuse you and use you, I'll have an even better life while you suffer. What's there to be mad about, really? Come on. Like, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. You know, your generation suffer for generations and generations. You know, I build a house and then eventually my grandson builds a mansion. You know, your family, if they're lucky, gets to work on that mansion for free, probably while I whip them to death. But I mean, ain't that a great deal?
That's the shit they don't want to talk about in school no more. They won't talk about that shit.
Literally don't want to talk about that. They try to take To Kill a Mockingbird. You ever see that meme where it's like, To Kill a Mockingbird's been taken off school shelves because it's been quoted to make people uncomfortable, and someone's like, that's the fucking point. You ever seen that meme? Like, that was the entire fucking point of the book. like, oh my God.
I've never really seen To Kill a Mockingbird or read the book.
You didn't read the book or see the horrible movie?
Or the horrible movie?
It wasn't like that horrible, but it was like old. You know what I'm saying? It was old. It hits all the markers, and the acting's actually pretty good. But it's like just an old movie, and you're like, the fuck? Did people act like that back in the day?
Yo, that's so funny because I was talking to Sarah the other day because we was watching Pinocchio. And I've never seen Pinocchio before, like the old cartoon Pinocchio.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's been so long, I don't even remember how it goes.
And they got like Jiminy Cricket there, and he talks like this the whole time, like wow, wow, wow. And I'm just like, him. I was like, why did white dudes used to talk like that? Like, it's just like, why? Who decided that? And like, who decided to stop?
Bro, I mean, there's a part of me that actually might have preferred it because it was funny, bro. But like, people dead used to go, I'm like, all right, I got a plan. See, like that. People forget that comes from reality. That's not a joke. People used to talk like that at some point.
I'm sick because I'm like, I just thought of this. I'm like, could you imagine getting called a nigger by like,
bro, like, hey, get the fuck out of here, you goddamn nigga. Like, Jesus Christ, we pay good money to be in this neighborhood.
Like, yeah, see, I think you should get out of here, little nigger.
Like, Jesus, we don't want no problems, but if you stay on this block, we're gonna have problems.
That's so dehumanizing. That's horrible,
bro. Oh my God, that is horrible. But like, oh jeez, if you talk like that,
Jiminy Cricket calls you the N-word. What are you supposed to do?
Dude, you just look at him like, damn, Jim, that really wasn't Jimmy? Cool. Like, Jiminy, what the fuck? Like, what, you gonna do something about it, huh? Yeah, I bet not. Have the boys out here all lickety split.
Oh my God, I'm getting hot. Oh no, that was real fucked up.
I'm just saying.
But no, they don't. Where are you going? This show's a mess today.
Sorry, I had to put my phone on touch.
I just let me reset.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Yeah, that was wild. I just went on a journey there. No, because we were just talking about they don't want to talk about racism in school, and it's so fucked up. Like they don't want. It's not that they don't want to talk about racism. They just don't want to talk about the racist shit white people did.
Yeah,
it's like what? It doesn't make any sense.
Like, not cool. It's like, could we please not hear? I think it's.
I want to know, like, what's the ramifications? Like, what's the end goal? Like, do we stop, like, having, like, Martin Luther King Day, too? Like, what happens then? You know what I mean? Like,
I guess in, like, 1,000 years, if somehow people forget the history, like, maybe. So I'll see you in 1,000 years. Because, I believe in reincarnation.
They're just going to say he cured racism or some shit. Because, like, how do you get rid of a whole holiday? People still, like, getting the day off. So, like...
No, you'd have to have a society literally forget that it's there.
Yeah.
Somehow, like, I don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, people, they'd have to ban the holiday. They'd have to start now, be like, all right, we're banning Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But with the way black people work, out of spite, Martin Luther King Jr. is going to stay that day's going to stay alive for like another 1,000 years. So you would have to ban the holiday, somehow expunge it from the memories of everybody who knows it, and like wait like 100 years for people to be like, oh yeah, we don't know what that is.
Black History Month is going to be a trip this year. Next year coming up.
Why
it's going to be a fucking trip. Well, it's because like you done took all the racism out of the books, and then like you're going to have a whole month of...
Oh wait, so did they legally decide to do that for real? Like,
it's
no.
Different states. So different states have decided that they don't want to talk about certain historical events or like certain historical happenings anymore, and they don't want. They want to take it out of the books and stuff, and they're just not going to have it as part of the curriculum because it makes white children sad or some shit, some bullshit like that. You know,
they should be sad,
and like it's kind of like
sad isn't a bad thing.
It's kind of crazy because like people are like, oh, because so like we just had like elections, right? And so like New York had an election, New Jersey just had an election, which the governor there almost lost, and like the governor of Virginia lost, and he was a Democrat. And so like now people are like blaming all the talk about critical race theory and all the racism talk over the last year on like Democrats losing. Because of the fact that it was like, oh, well, we talk about this stuff too much, and like we make people uncomfortable, and it's just like, I don't know, like if you can't get over the fact that like
you're uncomfortable,
or that this is just like the same bullshit that we talk about like every year. It's not even like the same. It's not even like better or worse. You know what I mean? Like they don't really talk about like racism in school like that anyways. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. My problem is English and history are some of your first like ways of learning empathy when you're in school. You don't learn empathy. You don't learn empathy in science and math because they're focused on making sure you're doing factual things. So like you're gonna take away that, and it's like, why should they learn about what happened back then? Because that leads directly up to what and why is happening now.
You can't question whether or not we live in a racist society if you're not willing to like think about the fact that like white people at any time could just be like, well, not gonna talk about that shit anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like
that was making me feel bad. Let's cut that one out. All right, good talk, guys. That out. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I know I did it. Let's just not talk about it anymore. And it's just like
bro, I mean, oh God. I mean, Rittenhouse case, bro. Have you? Because I haven't been following that.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but
why not? I mean, it's a topic. Have you been following? Because I haven't been. I just saw the crying and was like, how is this still going on? I just saw
the crying, you too, yes.
And I'm like, people been making memes about how he's going to get off. And like the court judge has been dropping like, charges and shit. And I'm like, what?
I didn't know you could do that.
Me neither. No, and I was like, yo, what? He did those things though.
I didn't know you could like in the middle of somebody's trial be like, yeah, let's not talk about that anymore.
Like, nah, those charges are irrelevant.
Yeah, that's not real.
So have you been like actually following it? Because I'm already pissed in the first place.
I didn't follow it because I feel like I knew where it's going, and I felt like from the little bits and pieces, I've seen most of the highlights. Like, you know, like basically like the prosecution brought up their witness, and their witness was like, yeah, I was shooting at him too, or some shit. And it was just like, it's not like that, but it's just like, just the prosecution is just dropping the ball every step of the way. And
really?
It's like, it's supposed to be, to me, I feel like it's an open and shut case, but like a lot of conservative type people are like, oh, he's just defending himself in his self-defense. And it's just like, I hate this whole gun shit, because like conservatives will be like, oh, this person was just defending himself, and the person in question will literally like drive like 3 states and then wave his gun around. Then when people attack him, start shooting, and then be like, oh yeah, it's self-defense. Like, it's like,
what? It's self-defense? You went there with intent at that. But the fact of the matter is,
you went there with intent to like with a gun
do
and
something.
Everything.
You know what I mean? Well, it's not even, because it's like, so you can't charge with intent to like hurt because of the legal right to own a gun or whatever. But the fact is, you drove to a state outside of your own with a weapon on you, and then ended up in a place where you ended up using it. You put yourself in that situation.
With like, I don't even think like he had like I don't even think like it's his gun and it's his like he's like too young even to like at the time I believe he was like too young to even have a gun. So like,
bro, right?
It's like you had a weapon that you not like. How many dudes get locked up on gun charges,
bro?
Okay,
for just possession,
for just holding the shit. Like literally, Florida has a law where it's like, what is it, like 10, 25 life, which is like possession is 10, 25 if you fired, life if you kill somebody. I don't know if that's still a law. Let me look it up. Real quick. Yeah, because crazy. Like 10, 25.
For possession? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, Florida, 10-25 life, right there. Florida's 10-25 life. Look at this shit here. Florida's 10-20 life law is a law that requires courts to impose a minimum sentence of 10 years, 20 years, or 25 years to life for certain felony convictions involving the use or attempted use of a firearm or destructive device. Like, if you're a Floridian and you are also like rooting for Kyle Rittenhouse, like you would, like even you would not survive this trial based off just like where I just came from. You know what I mean? Right. Like this doesn't make any sense. And so like people like going behind him and saying like, oh, it's self-defense and stuff when like you clapping people and like 2 people actually died. Like he killed people. Like he actually killed people. It wasn't like he was just like shooting. Like he killed people, you know? And he took this gun with the intent to like shoot people because like he took it to like a protest or whatever.
That his mother drove him to.
This whole thing is just like
how'd you even, all right, Mom, I just need you to drop me off at this park. Son, what? Why is the AR in the truck? Well, like, you know, bro, I know it's crazy, bro.
Could you imagine like a black lady drives her teenage son to like some white function and then he just starts killing white people
because he's scared.
Because he's quote unquote scared. Mm-hmm. You know, they would have hung him. They'd bring lynching back and everything.
Yeah, they would have been like, "Yo, we got this. We weren't gonna put it on trial. He came into the neighborhood with a gun on, so we just thought it'd be better if he was dead." Bro, like it's crazy, dude. And now it'll really piss me off if he gets off. And at that point, I'm just like losing my mind.
I think he will.
Like slap on the wrist. You put Khalif Browder in prison for nothing. He didn't even steal the backpack.
For like, wasn't it for like a year and a half or some shit?
Like 3.5.
3.5 years. That's right.
16, dude.
He was in Rikers.
Yes, he was 16 years old.
He didn't even have charges on him.
They thought he stole a backpack. He got locked up.
But no, I mean, like he didn't go through like trial and stuff.
No. And it's like, are you serious? Are you serious? It's like, how could you even? How could a court? And that's my problem with like law sometimes, because it's like, so you have to go through the system. It's like, how could you look at what's here right now and even try to let the person off? Like,
because there has to be some type you support that shit.
Yeah, unless you support that.
The decider of it, support that shit.
And it's like, that's crazy to me. It's like, it gets me so upset because it's just like, it shouldn't take a trial to see that he did something really, really wrong.
I think we need like a whole new way, like period of like how we like decide the law. Like that's a
different thing entirely.
I feel like it's just like too opinion based. I don't know what we should really do. I'm not really coming up with any solutions, but it's just like it's too like based on like the opinions of like everybody involved. Like the judge himself, like in the middle of the trial, like had his phone go off and it was like the Trump rally theme song. It was just like,
oh yeah. I mean, that's definitely got to be a publicity stunt, bro. Cause it's just like,
it's like him winking and nodding to people and shit. You know what I mean?
And it's like, it's perfectly fine for him to do that cause that's illegal in our country.
Is it?
Cause the Trump song, he was just a part of the Republican Party. So it's like, if that's your ringtone, that's your ringtone. But it's like for this case, hearing that specific thing, we should be able to like tie like points together and be like, yo, he obviously supports something like this. So I don't think it's fair for him to judge on this case.
Right.
He's obviously in full support, of what this kid did. So maybe that's not the right person to judge on this.
Just today, the judge threw out the word victims. Like, they're not allowed to call the people who died, who got killed, victims, because it's too loaded of a term, even though he shot these people and they died. So he said words like rioters or protesters or things like that are okay, though.
Were they even armed?
Some of the people were. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the people were. I give them that. But, like, that's not, like, a lot to give them.
Not a lot. Not really. Because you shouldn't have been there.
It's really just stupid. Like, the whole thing is just dumb. It's not like there's not really anything to really, like, defend or not defend. You just have to be, like, in the tank for this person or you're not. It's just, like, one of those things. And it's sad that it's, like, that type of thing, because like because our system isn't fair, and our system isn't fair because of the system. Our system isn't fair because of the people within the system. Yeah, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I think sometimes when we get lost in the sauce when we talk about like the system, you know what I mean? Like we talk about it and we just like remove a face from it, and then we like, how does this happen? We need systematic reform, when it's just like, we need like people who are gonna get those people out, or like something just needs to change about like how we look at people within the system. Absolutely. Yeah, like we look at like this thing and we call it like this big boogeyman thing, and nobody knows what it means, and it's like you're looking at it happen, and you can't describe it as the system when you look at like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Like you just can't look at it in that way, because it's like you're watching somebody get off because the people involved like relate to him. The people involved, like for whatever political reason, agree with him, or for whatever like supremacist reason, agree with him. Like his actions uphold that, and so they are with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can't. There's no like. What are you doing? You scratching?
Nothing. Don't. I'm like fixing the mic screen.
You gotta mute yourself before you do that.
Oh, sorry. I thought you would notice. There we go. We're good. But in any case, yeah, I can't even follow it.
That does make me want to talk about the thing you wanted to talk about. You said you wanted to like talk about just how we understand freedom, like what freedom is and how we understand it.
So it's like, how can we, a society, like a world almost that's literally never really set up a world for like true freedom, understand the concept when we've always had some type of oppression margin dealing with shit? You know what I mean? It's specifically when we're talking about the Western world. So from Europe to like America, it's like no one's ever really been free. These monarchies gain power for like whatever reason, depending on the monarchy, like you were chosen or whatever. And so like you're using the peasant classes, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For your own benefit and gain, and making them do whatever with your power. And then from there, like we just have societies, whether it be like corrupt governments or whatever, just abusing their power and taking advantage of the people. Like it's always been some form of oppression here or there, like we were talking about earlier, from like Rome till now. Mm-hmm. So you have Rome doing horrible things in terms of building and maintaining its empire, which eventually falls. Then you have the Middle Ages, where we have these kings taking advantage of people. Then we have colonization. We have Native Americans having their lands taken and killed, like genocide. You want to talk genocide? We could talk that, like Trail of Tears. You have a transatlantic slave trade, and then you have a country built on top of that, utilizing slavery. And then from there, once slaves are freed, you have Jim Crow laws, making it easier to put them away.
Like tie it together for people though. Like what would be the disconnect then that, how do I say? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, how do we get to
freedom? Because you're like, what's going to be the disconnect? Yes. And I'm like, there is no disconnect. It's always been fucking oppression.
So you're saying because the whole world has like, in one sense or another, like empires have oppressed people. So how can we say that we know what freedom is?
We understand freedom or want to build it. It was like, it's what we're constantly chasing.
Yeah, that was my question to you though, was like, who is the we then in question when you say we?
We as a functioning society, because it's like we as people, sure, but we just end up grouping together and forming communities and trying to govern how best those communities live together. But oftentimes, like, people's egos get involved, and then, you know, power corrupts, like, indefinitely almost. And all of a sudden, you're just taking advantage of people for your own benefit. So It's like, then that's been fucking constant. Like, that's forever. Like, someone's always trying to do someone wrong for their own benefit, and no one can just, like, raise an equal or one would say equitable society. Because there's just no trust. Someone's always trying to do what's best for them and can't ever consider the person right next to them. And so it's like, how can we really talk about freedom when that's what we're so used to? People like dicking each other around.
Do you think using the oppressive class, like using them as a measure of freedom, would be like an accurate measure of what freedom is?
No, because they've grown up and have issues. Like, I don't know about you, but I have issues due to, you know, how society has us come up. I don't want to call them delusions of grandeur.
Not the oppressed, but the oppressive. Like those who do the oppressing, like using them as
the standard of freedom? Yeah. And it's like, no. And I brought that up before too when we were talking, because it was just like, because they're used to having to do those things to keep people like oppressed. They can't maintain their power or their status without doing those horrible things that allow them to take advantage of people. So they're beholden to that. So even they're not free.
So because they participate in oppression, they are also oppressed? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I wouldn't take it that far to say that they're also oppressed, but they're still slaves to their oppressive, like regime sometimes, to the oppressive habits that they utilize. Like, they can't survive without doing that, in their minds at least, you know what I mean? So that's why they do it. But they're definitely not the oppressed per se, unless they're being, you know, there's the 1%, and I guess there's like what the percentages beneath them, you know, trying to get to where they're at. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, but it's just like, no one really knows what it's like to live in a society where you can truly be yourself, fully do what you want to do, which isn't to say that's how it can work, because like realistically speaking, it doesn't. But it's funny just how we're trying to talk about a society, us especially, we live in America, and it's like land of the free, but it's like, really? It's like, really, it's supposed to be, and you know, in theory, I guess, but it's like, no. And then you have things like this with Kyle Rittenhouse, and it's looking like he's going to get off. But then you have things like Khalif Browder getting arrested for stealing a backpack. And it's like,
allegedly stealing a backpack.
Allegedly.
And then still having to sit in like, not even prison, but jail for like 3 years.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, really? Doesn't feel like it, especially to me.
Right.
You know where I'm coming from, or people who look like me. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I kind of get what you're saying. So what you're saying is kind of like, because oppression has been the standard, there is no standard of freedom.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what makes more sense. We don't actually know what that really is. How would we? Right. I mean, everybody carries the scars from how they were raised. People have trauma. What's not the most traumatic if not having been raised in a society that's constantly been oppressive in one way, constantly makes you abide by its rules. You don't actually get to discover what you want. You're kind of like led into a way of believing and thinking. And that's not a bad thing, because, you know, culturally, that's how you grow up. But what are you being taught?
Right.
And it's for us, You know, all the good things I ever got came from people who loved me. Thank God. Imagine if you don't have anybody in life who loved you. Otherwise, it's like people want to control me. And even the people who loved me on some level wanted to control me. Usually with them, like for instance, your parents.
What do you mean by control you? Yeah, let me.
Well, with your parents, though, for instance, they were wanting to control you to keep you safe. At least you hope. Parents are like, we have to make sure the child doesn't do something stupid like jump off a bridge because he thinks he can fly. That's understandable.
Right.
At least you kept that person alive. But then what if it's like you wanted to be okay, I'll do something simple. Like I wanted to be an artist and I want to be an artist. What if my parents were like, nah, you're not going to do that? And that happens in some people's lives. Yeah. Where it's like, I really wanted to do this. That happens to a lot of people. Like, I really wanted to do this, but, you know, my family was like, no. My dad, my mom were like, no. And so I didn't do that. Now, that's that specific example when we're looking at, like, the family structure. Now, let's go a little bit further out, and we're talking about our communities. Because it's like, sure, your parents raise you, but then you go out into the world, and the rest of the world has just as much an effect on you as you hope to have on it. Or can have on it. Right. And so you're like sitting here being pressured, like, let's talk about women's pressure to be what the standard of beauty is. Let's talk about men being pressured to have to live in a way where they can support a family or stuff like that, you know, traditional things like that. We're getting out of things of that nature, which is good, but still overarching is, hey, you have to work and make sure you're building for the state. Not for yourself, even if it kills you. Right. Do it to the best of your ability, because that's what's best for you, says who? The people oppressing you and using you for their gain. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do I really create a life where I'm not trying to take advantage of somebody for my own gain? Like even me and you on some level, there's probably times when we're thinking of ourselves first. You know what I mean? For specific situations, there's things that we want out of life sometimes. We're not necessarily cutthroat, but, you know, perhaps we're trying to make deals with people so we can make this work when you would hope you wouldn't even have to do that. But it's like, that's all that people know. Like when you go into business, everybody knows how business works. Business can get very dirty sometimes. Can get very cutthroat sometimes. You shouldn't have to work like that in competition that could really make or break your life. Yet here we are. And then I'll say this and someone will be like, well, that's the reality. And it's like my response to that would only be like, and almost maybe at tears, like, yeah, you stupid fucking shitface. That's the reality. We should just blindly accept that and not do anything against that for any reason at all. It's perfectly okay that we live in a society that thinks that's okay. That thinks where we should constantly abuse each other and use each other for our own betterment. And not try to help anyone around us at all. We shouldn't try to make it all up together because that's impossible. That can't happen at all. We shouldn't work towards that goal. I mean, nothing's ever going to change, so what's the point? And it's like we don't understand freedom because we were raised in that attitude. Old habits die hard, you know what I'm saying? And that's been the habit for how long?
I think
like forever.
I think it's very easy for people to get like caught up into the system too. And because like if you're out there and you're making money, you're making a living for yourself, you know, and your job doesn't really allow you to look around, and you're probably part of the problem because you probably support a business unwittingly that helps like really destroy the world or whatever, you know, like the system makes it very easy for you to participate, and it just makes it harder for anybody who decide that they don't want to participate. You know what I mean? So like if you want to be anti that system, if you want to be like, you know, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be, you know, a part of this. Then they're like, well, you got to go live in the woods somewhere and like fuck off. You know what I mean? Like they're not like, we'll make space for you too. Or like, well, what can you do? It's like because the system is set up a certain way to run you, you know? So then I see what you're saying, and I do kind of get where you're coming from, because it is kind of fucked up the way we're living, and we don't really think about it a lot of the time because of that comfortability. You know what I mean? And
if you're comfortable, if you're comfortable,
if you're comfortable too. But I think I mean, like when I say comfortability, I'm talking in like the same way you say, like, you know, you could have like somebody who is your oppressor, but because they all they know is oppression, so they don't know freedom. You know what I mean? It's the same type of comfortability I'm talking about. It's like, do you know comfort then? You know, because you feel comfort right now, but do you know what it means to be truly comfortable when this is the comfort that was prescribed to you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a deep conversation. I really like this one because this one is really making me think a lot, and it's really like, I'm glad you brought this up in this way. You know what I mean?
Well, it's something that like, because I was just scrolling, you know, on social media, and like it came across, and I just started thinking about it myself because that's a common thought I have, like, because in my head, man, and this is, you know, part of where my mental illness, you know, comes into play, because it's just like society's so sick in my head. Like I look all around, I'm like, people really are just so fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
But no one gets like any medicine, even when we're talking like medically. Like you're not being treated to fully heal and solve the problem. You're being put on stuff for, you know, for you to come back in. And I'm just like, yo, people really are sick, because this should be the main problem. We exist in a world not, you know, built on making sure you're always getting better, doing okay, doing fine.
Right.
We live in a very cold world, and people say it like it's normal. And it's like, how could you say that? How could you feel comfortable acknowledging and saying that? And it's like, why don't we do more, like as much as we can, to keep shit like that from happening?
I think it comes from that, though. Like I was saying, is that I feel like the people you're talking about, they don't really know, you know, and they are living their life. And because they're just living the way they've always lived, or their family has always lived.
I'm not going to say like they don't know,
Mm.
because I'm going to say the truth is, which is that they don't care, because it's hard to care. I myself, it's why I struggle like with my own life, because it's like I do care, and then I feel like I'm powerless to do anything most days.
I think that's a little fucked up if you don't care, like people eating and getting medicine and shit.
People don't care, Logan. Not enough, because the fact is, think about it. And this is really going to fuck people up, because this is what fucks me up. Mm-hmm. So the fact is, if someone's homeless on your street, you should be helping that person not be homeless. Now, let's look at me or you. Do you have the ability right now, as you stand and live and breathe, do you have the ability right now to make it so that someone out on the street right now isn't homeless? Can you get them home, their clothes,
I do feel bad about that shit. Because
of course you feel bad.
Because he be looking at me and I'd be like, yeah, yo, buddy, it could be me next.
That's not even the point. Because, and you're right, it could be, but that's not even the point. The point is, it's just like, see, you care, I care, but nonetheless, there's nothing we can do in that moment. And that eats away at me, you know what I mean? And that eats away at people. And like, it becomes a part of the, like, I'm just not going to care because like it hurts. There's nothing I can do. And I have to focus on my life, which I'm not trying to shame anybody, but it's like the world we exist in.
It's a little shameful. It's a little shameful.
It is a little shameful. I can't deny. But the world we exist in has been built so that you can't do anything. You know what I mean?
I'll be the bad guy and I'll say it is a little shameful though, because, you can't just like, you can't have like it in your heart where you know right from wrong. And like it's one thing if you're ignorant to the fact and you're just ignorant to suffering somehow, and you're ignorant to other people's suffering and you just don't know. You don't know that this thing is going on, or it's as bad as it is going on. And then you just go about your day, right? But then like if you know something is going wrong, it's against your moral compass, and then you just never even made a plan for like, okay, listen, I feel bad about this shit. Maybe I'll go volunteer somewhere, or maybe I'll go do this, or maybe I'll go do that, or maybe my goal is that I will make a lot of money so that I could be the one that actually helps those people, you know, or I could start a center or a shelter or whatever, you know. Like, I don't believe that it's a good thing to have something in your heart and not act on it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's always like, if I know something is wrong, I feel that much worse if I do it. Like, if it's one thing if I made a mistake and I didn't know I offended somebody or something. But like, if I did something after the fact and I knew it was fucked up, like I feel even worse. Like I feel real bad about that. Like I can't like imagine like I'm not even really describing what I'm trying to describe, but I can't imagine like actively knowing that some shit is fucked up and not feeling any type of way because you conditioned yourself out of feeling how that feels because you're just like, well, can't do anything about that and just move on about your life. Like,
well, Logan, for some people, it's like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you can be like, I can't do anything about the homelessness problem in New York or whatever. And like, that's true because you're like a peon or whatever, right? But on some level, like, you can't be like, well, I give up about this homeless shit because, like, you know, like, that's
not even what I mean. Oh man, why does my camera always do this? It's so annoying.
I don't know. It's like, yeah,
there, it's back. All right, it's back. But that's not even what I mean because it's like some people do feel like, for instance, us, we actually care. There's just nothing we can do. I'm demotivated a lot of ways because I feel like even the little things don't help enough because there's such a large backdrop of just like corruption and shit. It's like you want to help and then some extra batch it's going to come and just like make everything worse. So it's hard, but at least on some level we still do care. Like if we did have the ability to like actually make a permanent change, because that's what really gets people. It's like, how do I permanently fix this solution? And it feels like that's almost impossible. We do care, but there are some people who really just don't give a fuck. It's not even about like, it's not even about like, oh, I've been conditioned. They're just like, all right, well, fuck them. Like, who told them to go live that life because of ignorance? You know, some people really do be ignorant out here, like really ignorant. And it's scary sometimes. It's like, how can you even come out like that?
The amount of not minding your own business that takes, though, is what gets me. Is like when somebody like, when you're at the point where you're judging somebody else's life, you're also at the point where you're not minding your damn business. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, because like, who made you the dictator of how other people should live? Right? So like, who said that like your way of life is like the good life? You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
Like some of y'all be living, you know, real rough still yet and still look down on people. And I don't understand.
Which is crazy. Which would be crazy.
That's what I don't get. Bro. Like I really don't understand it. Like you can't act like your way of life is like somehow more moral or some bullshit just because you. Like it just it doesn't work that way. Like it doesn't work like that.
But it's like we don't foster that enough in people. Like we're supposed to, but everybody thinking like that is like cliche and unrealistic. And it's like, how did those thoughts get that way when those are the main ones to focus on? Being good, doing good in the world. Like, oh, that's a pipe dream. And it's like, no, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And it's like, so I'm not like a religious person in that sense anymore. You know, I mean, I'm not even a Baptist Christian like I was supposed to be raised. You know what I'm saying? But it's just funny how a person who doesn't adhere to the necessary religious rules looks at some of the readings and is just like, all this like suffering once you stray from God shit is starting to look realistic in a world that's supposed to be secular. You know what I mean? Does that make sense when I say that?
Explain yourself. Yeah.
Like, it's funny how, you know, you hear stories in the Bible and stuff, or perhaps the Quran or any reading where it's just like, yeah, you should be doing, you know, good unto your other man and like being in harmony and together and stuff like that. And it's like, sure, maybe we can't exist as they wrote that because we weren't living then. But it's funny how the more we stray from trying to be like that, the worse people seem to be feeling. The worst people seem to be doing. Yeah.
We're living in a really poor spiritual time, I think.
Oh my God. I wasn't even trying to get to that conversation, but I 100% agree because like we are.
And like I think about that. There. I'm not trying to be like, you know, I'm not trying to like convert anybody, but I'm just saying that like the spiritual health of like our society is like really fucked up right now. And it's partly the Christians' fault, you know, like a big part is like on the fault of Christians because like Christianity has taken such like a right turn or a left turn or whatever you want to call it, where it's like here are these rules that we came up with, and this is how everybody is supposed to live. And then all the other parts about, doing good works and like helping your neighbor and all this and that gets put to the wayside for like just like utter bullshit, as if that the stuff that they want to talk about supersedes all of that. As if the small parts in like the religious texts are the parts where you actually help people, or you care about the health of your neighbor. You care about, whether or not somebody's eating or not. And so like it leaves you in a really decrepit place spiritually, I think. Like it just leaves you in this part where you're just not being watered at all. Like you're not bearing fruit of anything else. And then you wonder why like tragedy and turmoil comes to you, and you spend all your time like judging people and condemning people. And then you want, like, I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but like you're sowing seeds that are just like never going to bear any fruit. And then you wonder why you don't have anything to eat later. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think about that all the time, and I don't know how we just got on this, but I just think about that like all the time, that like we're doing this like really false spiritual thing with our lives.
Bro, this world is, Logan, I'm sorry, because I know people and everybody who listens to the podcast knows I hate the concept of money, knows capitalism pisses me off. And the reason is like, how can you exist in a world where you are a person, value your life above almost all things, and then yet somehow don't have the empathy enough to value that someone else values their life above all things, and then have further the audacity to value a piece of paper more than the life that we value above all things. The audacity, Logan, to me.
Right.
We value inanimate things more than people. And like people have millions of excuses. Shit, I wouldn't even want to end a racist fucking KKK member's life if it wasn't for the fact they're trying to snuff out my existence. You know what I mean? We have every single fucking reason to not value people, as the most important thing on the planet.
Right.
Since other than the planet, we're the most important thing on the planet. Planet keeps us alive. We should be living in tandem with the planet to keep it alive, since it keeps us alive.
I'm glad you said that. We don't even like take care of the planet.
Bro, do you really want to talk about the spiritual like corruption when you think about how fucked up people are? We don't value the thing that we all know is necessary for us to exist. Destroy it all the time. Make a mess of everything, and not to get into like sacred spaces, but you'd want to keep them clean. Think about the trash and filth in the city alone, bro. But it's just like, we don't value the planet that keeps us alive.
Wait, go back. Don't think about the trash and the filth in the city. Think about the trash and the filth in the city in certain places in the city.
Well, now we can.
Yeah, because I've been walking around, right? And I already knew where it was going to be. But like when you walk around, it's like there's trash on our side, where there's like filth where we live. And then you go somewhere like real rough, and then there's real filth. Like I walked somewhere and it looked like there was garbage bags from 2 weeks ago there. There's some shit. You know what I mean? Like it was just piled up like a mountain and some shit. Bro. And I was just like, what the fuck is where? That's when I was like, I got to turn around. I was like, where the fuck am I?
Because we're investing in the wrong things, Logan. But this is once. So let me continue.
Wait, I know. I'm gonna let you continue because I want to give you this point. It's not just investing in the wrong things, but like actively divesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like actively not investing in certain places on
you
purpose.
Don't care. Yeah, on purpose. And then we get to classism and racism again. But it's just like, even before we get there, bro, like it's because we don't care about the planet we know we need to live. We don't care more about each other than we do resources to keep us alive, even though we know why we need those resources and why somebody else would need them. So rather than figuring out how to best share them, because the basic human story of war is, hey, we didn't really care about sharing. We didn't understand those people like their ways, and we thought we'd be better off living than them. Now, I wasn't there. So maybe there were some cultures who was just like, we want to just destroy everything and that's our way of living. And if you're not about that, you got to be destroyed too. All right. Maybe we should probably do something about you. But I highly doubt that was the case. Even with like ancient Aztecs, hunting people for sport, for mine, for sacrifices and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like even those people were never like, hey, like even they still had families and people that they cared about. While the practice I disagree with, it's like maybe we could have figured something out. But constantly there's just this fight for resources. And rather than being able to come to an understanding, we just end up fighting and fucking each other up.
Do you think it's really a fight for resources, or it's just like people have recognized that they have a certain power and that makes them feel good?
At this point, because I'm talking about at early points.
I think even at early points, to be honest.
At earlier points, I want to say it does come down to people's egos and noticing they have the power, so being able to do this, that's fair. But mostly it starts with like, our people need this and we don't think your people deserve it. You know what I mean? Because
if your civilization is doing really well for its time, it's like you don't notice that you're not the most powerful. Like you don't notice that you can build a rocket ship. You know what I mean? So like if you've never built a rocket ship and like that just would just like blow your mind. Like even like whatever the power level is at your day, that's it. That's what I mean. That's where I'm coming from. It's like, so whatever like power you think you have and whatever is the most power you think can be achieved, once you achieve that, then like, what do you think of yourself after that? You know what I mean? Like people joke that like Jeff Bezos thinks he's a god, but like maybe he does. Like, you know what I mean? That's a valid thing. Like if you think like you're like one of the like most powerful people in history, and it's like I'll shut this shit down tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just
like bro, it's just people really are sick, man. And the thing is, so you bring up Jeff Bezos. So we live in a society that rather telling you the best thing to be is a person helping other people, society, especially American culture, tells you the best thing to be is a billionaire crushing other people, crush the competition at whatever cost. That's what it costs to be the best. That's what's going to make you the best. Right. It's like, that's what's going to make me the best. So now I have $1 billion and I could be doing a lot more with my money, I suppose. But instead I'm worried about whatever I want, whatever I need, whatever's best for me. And at some point we gotta talk about personal property, because there's some truth to that. But it's like, at what point is it like, how much is too much? You're not taught to ask that question. Not here, at least. But go be Jeff Bezos. I mean, don't go being Mother Teresa. Don't go being Martin Luther King Jr. Go be Jeff Bezos.
Mother Teresa has her own problems, but we don't need.
They all do, in truth, don't they? Because nobody's perfect.
I mean, like, what is the most problematic? Well, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say what's the most problematic thing like Martin Luther King did, but it was probably like cheat on his wife, and that's pretty,
or something like that.
Yeah,
which is honestly where I was gonna get to, which still isn't really like. That's
why you got to talk about Malcolm. You can't talk about Martin, because Malcolm like actually like he kept his wife. He didn't really do anything wrong. He was okay. You know what I mean? Like I just remember like the first half of the book now, and I was like,
oh shit. Which still isn't the point.
Pimp, but it was like, okay.
Which still isn't the point, because it's not about the fact that like those people were perfect.
Right.
It's just like, look at what they stood for, and it's like, you look at Jeff Bezos, and I don't know him. I don't necessarily like him because I'm not a fan of billionaires, but it's like he only stands for himself.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to learn from Jeff Bezos.
What I'm supposed to learn from Jeff Bezos. Why would I want to be a person with that much power, and I'm committed to just making more for me?
Yeah, he doesn't have like a mission statement. He's just like,
does what he cares.
Do whatever the fuck I want, and I make spaceship dicks. Like,
billions,
like
and you're mad about it. I have all these billions. You can't do anything about it, and you're mad about it. It's like, I'm not mad about it because I dislike you and I'm jealous. I'm mad about it because, I think you could be doing things that would be better for not me in terms of just selfish me. I don't mind handling my own as best as I can. It'd be nice if it was easier to figure that out, but nonetheless, I'm okay with that. But what about people who really need it?
I don't really give a fuck about billionaires. Maybe I should like care more. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I
Why?
feel like I should. No, I mean like the subject of them. I guess. Like
okay.
Yeah, I feel like I should.
You should understand. You should understand the concept.
I should understand more, I suppose, but I just don't care about them because like either you just make them pay the taxes or not. If you're not gonna do that, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yo,
it's just
facts.
Like, you're not gonna,
that's all you did.
You're not gonna make them pay their taxes, and you're not gonna vote for people. Like, just shut up. I don't care. I care, but I don't. Like, I care, but like, if you're not gonna do anything about it, I don't care. Like, are you gonna eat the rich or are you not gonna eat the rich? Like,
I'm waiting.
Stop talking about it. Be about it. Like,
you can't. It's not easy to be about it with eating the rich. But I mean,
you know, you can help. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess. Yeah, breaking and entering isn't. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there.
People be busting in like celebrities like houses like all the time now. Like it's like
yo, neck gun in hand. Like, ooh, I got us a good catch today.
Yeah, like got me a Tom Cruise today.
You know what I'm saying? Screaming like, "Honey, help me! What's wrong with you people? Don't let them get free." But no, but seriously, like.
Don't go in celebrities' houses. Don't do
that. Yeah, please, don't break in anybody's houses, please.
You didn't hear
that.
Don't
do that. You didn't hear that from us. We didn't. We don't condone breaking and entering and or eating the rich.
You are on your own. If you buzz up in The Rock's house, you are on your own.
Like you
say
you live
Logan
your own
life.
Yeah, don't be like, milk and toast. Nah, not us.
No milk
but the problem is like, and of course, society wants. You're in schools. They're like, have a good heart, have a good moral fiber. But then society really for who we allow to like control the big picture, it looks like, oh no, be a douchebag billionaire. That's how you really
society has valued money that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also because like society don't pay nobody nothing. Like it's like that's the that's the trick, Yeah. Is that like you make sure that everybody's hungry so that like everybody rushes to suckle at the teat of whoever doesn't give a fuck about them, as long as they have the right dollar amount in their pocket.
Like, hey, I hate you, but I heard you're giving out $5.99 an hour.
I have a question. Why do Black people celebrate Thanksgiving?
Okay, that is actually very complicated. Most likely it has to do with slavery. At least in America. Because I don't think Thanksgiving really celebrated, like, for Black people. I don't think there's a start anywhere else for Black people but America. But for Black people, it's definitely steeped somewhere in slavery.
Because it doesn't, I mean, people are going to be like, what's wrong with Thanksgiving? A lot. But like, you're
going to need to defend that statement.
But it is a lot wrong with it. Like the Pilgrims came over and they like killed up all the Indians and shit. After the Indians can you imagine? Like, let me go back. Let me go back to my house. Let me go back to my little house example. Could you imagine going over to somebody's house because you was real hungry and then they taught you how to cook the food that they was cooking that you didn't know how to cook for yourself, and then like you took their house, and then you killed them. And you said, "Ooh, wow, this is great.
You've been so kind. Kindness deserves."
They showed those people how to. They showed those people how to make corn, and then they killed them. Like it's like what the fuck,
bro. The Three Sisters crops is a very important tale of like Native Americans teaching. Calling us how to like properly farm the lands and stuff. Because I think it's corn, squash, and beans or something like that.
There's so much like history that like just got like glazed over too about Thanksgiving and really about like anything that has to do with Native Americans, but like Thanksgiving like period. Because like I remember reading this thing where it was like the Native Americans believed in taking care of the land so well that they actually like, it wasn't like they just lived in like forests and stuff. They like tailored the land so that it would better like flourish. And so like the wildlife would flourish. And so like there are old texts from like settlers at the time where like they're like the first people to see these things. And they like described like the native lands as so well organized that it was like as if you were like walking through a park. So like, can you imagine that? like you're walking through the forest, but it's set up so well that it's just like, oh shit, where the fuck am I? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like this, like somebody worked on this. You know what I mean? And you still decide to steal that and kill up everybody, like,
and then ruin it, bro. Like
we don't talk about the extent to which
evil exists, man. Like, I know we've gotten to a point where like good and evil is subjective, but like evil exists, bro. People's hearts are turned into doing horrible things, and it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes.
It's a lot,
bro. It's a lot.
Why do Black people celebrate Thanksgiving?
So, like I told you, definitely slavery. Definitely slavery.
It doesn't.
But if I'm going to be
sense.
a little bit more specific, because some slave masters were celebrating Thanksgiving and being like, "Woo, victory over the natives! Hey, nigga, come cook this turkey." And we paid attention, got free, and was like, well, why don't we cook for ourselves instead, since we cook better than them anyway? And Black Thanksgiving.
Black Thanksgiving.
Reclamation, bitch.
I feel like Black people just keep doing it just because it's there, and like, because
it's nice to cook a big family meal.
It is nice to cook a big family meal, but is it nice to like put yourself out for like the meal and everything? You know what I mean? Like, turkey ain't cheap. Like, just like.
Well, so the historical like foundings of Thanksgiving are fucking horrible, but like the meaning of it now, most people celebrate Thanksgiving because it is about giving thanks and being thankful for family. And that's why America still celebrates it as a pastime. It's hard for me to do Columbus Day. That doesn't exist anymore. It's just Indigenous Peoples Day because fuck Columbus. But Thanksgiving is like, all right, well, I can kind of acknowledge that the European settlers were fucking assholes. Be thankful for my family and represent giving thanks for that to the natives instead for teaching them, because now I have it. Thank y'all. Like, I hope one day I can be cool and help y'all take the land back. Because to be honest, like, I would help Native Indigenous people violently take back their land in full stride, even if they were like, you can't stay after. I'd be like, all right. I guess I'll figure that out afterwards. But
I get the sentiment. Yeah.
I'll figure it out then. It's time to go back to Africa for real then. You know what I'm saying? Hope we good though. Like, because spiritually, that would put me in such a place where it'd be like, I feel so great. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. Mitchell, you're leaving the only home you've ever known. You know what? But the people who had a genocide committed against them, whose spiritual founding has almost been broken due to that. You know what I mean?
That's real.
They're right again. And my spirit feels wonderful.
That's real woke of you, Mitch. But if you want to get some real galaxy brain shit on this, you should take the native people to Europe and have them invade Europe and kick all the white people out of Europe.
Okay. One, that's a war campaign, no matter how you put it.
Oh, your shit isn't?
No. My shit is just full on righteous reclamation.
It's just reclamation.
Yours is a full on like invasion. We went from being like, all right, it's time to take back our land, to being like, yeah, take it back. Now let's go take theirs, motherfuckers. Like, yeah. Pillaging is pillaging, bro.
I mean, you don't have to pillage a little if you try to, like, whatever native tribes are left, that you try to make them, like, take over everything else. Like,
and so we literally was like, all right, now we're at peace. Yeah. All right, fuck peace. Everyone get in a boat.
We found balance. As Thanos said, we have finally found balance. Yes.
Damn, bro. That just sucks. From being Kyoshi Warriors to Fire Nation real quick.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm playing. Yeah. But like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, we good. We took it back. Just invading Europe. No, I'm good. It's not like we even would when you think about it, like Europe went around conquering the rest of the world because they didn't like where they were. When you think about it, bro, mind you, like parts of Europe are nice, especially now as the climate, like, but I believe it used to be like cold and clammy back in the day. And there's like, fuck this shit, yo.
I think, that made me think about, like, the Atlantic is pretty big, right?
Yeah.
You sailed all the way across this giant ass ocean and you didn't know how to farm? Like, the next place you plan to go, right? The next place you plan to be at, you knew that you was gonna have to farm, and you didn't take any farmers.
Showed up, was just like, fuck. All right, well, I guess we didn't plan this one all the way through.
You know how long that fucking journey is in a sailboat? Like,
bro. Oh my God.
You just letting the wind carry you. Like, by the time you get here, like, you're a whole different group of people because, like, people done died on the way.
You know
like,
what I'm saying? Yeah. Done seen real trauma at sea.
Yeah, people have died. People have had babies and shit. Like, this whole group is different. Yes, it's all different. It's all different. And now you finally get to the place and you're like, hey, what are we going to eat? It's like...
Find the first native you can and go, I'm hungry. I don't know Jebediah, but I'm thinking about him.
No, remember I showed that thing? I just shared something where it was like people were eating mummies and stuff. Like, that's some real shit.
Oh, yeah, people were eating. Yeah. Cannibal.
And, like, they didn't stop until, like, the 20th century. Like, it's like...
wanted their power for themselves, even
like 1903. Like, it was like, what? Like, I read that shit, and I thought it was just like, you know, I read like Hotep shit on like Facebook all the time, but then it was like the Smithsonian said it, and I was like, what?
I was like,
other white people confirming white people eating people? Like, it's just like,
why are white people eating people of color?
Why are you guys doing this?
Why are you guys doing that? Stop it.
It said because they had like special powers. They
I know
that, but it's like, that's real part. Fucked up.
Yeah,
because like, think about it. They were selling mummy powder. They were selling powder that was like grinded up mummies and like adding it to medicines and stuff because like they thought they was gonna have like special powers. But they got these things from like black countries and shit. So like you're eating black people who you say that can't share the same bathroom and shit with you because they might be dirty. Like, make it make sense.
Makes sense, right? There's some cognitive dissonance going on there.
It's a little,
and I need it to be corrected this instant.
That doesn't make any...
but neither does hate. Hate doesn't make any sense. I know.
That's true. Yeah.
I know. I'm tired too, Logan. I'm so tired. I can't even function some days. Yeah.
Anyway, what are you thankful for?
Well, first and foremost, like God, my family. Well, God's a complicated term for me, so I really just mean divinity. But like, you know, that tends to that's the only thing I think keeping me going other than family, really. To be honest with you, that just feels so prevalent in my heart. I don't even know why. And I just hope my belief even grows stronger. I'm glad it is where it is, but it's like, that really means a lot to me. My family, just because, you know, most people grow up and they aren't ready for the world. But, you know, I had family there, for better or for worse, that, you know, helped me become who I am today and gave me this sort of strength, you know, that's helped me survive. I could be doing much worse, perhaps, if I hadn't been raised, you know, by them. You know, there's lots of things I regret, I think, that happened between us, you know what I'm saying? But, like, nonetheless, like, I love my family. I'm thankful for friends. Thankful for simple pleasures, you know, like the sun in the sky and shit like that. I'm thankful for art, always. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things, but mostly those. You?
Me? What am I thankful for? I am thankful for my family as well. I'm very thankful that I had the time that I did have with my mom. Right. Like, I believe I'm more thankful every day about that. But that is one of the things I'm thankful for. Like, I'm thankful for, like, that and, like, having somebody that, like, it's one thing to have, like, guidance from somebody, but it's another thing to, like, miss that guidance. So like, it's kind of like, you know, how good you had it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm thankful that I even had it good in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I am thankful for, like, you know, the fact that, like, I get to live with my brother and I get to live with my girlfriend. And so, like, I have family again, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
You know, I am thankful you're like 3 minutes away. You're like right there.
I haven't even been able to see you as often, but like it's cool. It's a cool
we'll
thing.
We'll figure it out. It's just like, it's a little hectic right now.
No, it's just gonna happen when it naturally. That's how it is with all my relationships. Because between just how I'm feeling, what I'm going through, and like just being busy, like I just see people when I can. You're gonna be lucky in an instant, in one sense, because you will see me more than some other people get to, just because of how close you are. But like. I don't hold anything against people. I hope people don't hold anything against me, because I know people are busy.
I know we've been wanting to go to Prospect Park for like the longest time, because it's like a really nice park down there. Supposedly, That's what we said.
I haven't been over in a while. I keep forgetting that it's there some days.
Every day we say we're going to go. Like every day. We can't get there, like, because we always have like other shit to do. So we're going to go. We're going to go.
Right.
We're going to get there. You want to come?
Depends on when you're going. Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
It's been a while since I've been to a park.
Yeah. You work on weekends?
Yes.
Oh, well, damn.
And weekdays.
Yeah.
And go to school.
Yeah.
I'm I literally don't even, because I look at my schedule today and I'm like, damn, that really be exhausting. Because it's like, all right, class, work, study.
Yeah.
Tuesday, work. Wednesday, class, voice lessons. No, class, work, study, voice lessons, podcast. Thursday, work again. Friday, some work, study, class. Saturday, Sunday, work. Extracurricular things in between those days, always.
Yeah.
You just be like, yo. And it's just like... But nonetheless, there, in some capacity, I'm thankful that I could be doing those things. It's just, for me, like... At this point, I'm thankful I'm still alive, though, too. Because, like...
It's facts. Yeah.
Like, for real, I'm just thankful. I've been through experiences where I could have potentially kicked the bucket. Like, maybe it wasn't that serious, but there's always a possibility, and I haven't. So I'm thankful to just be alive. You know what I mean? And then I'm dealing with my mental health, so I'm also thankful that I'm somehow, like... Even though it doesn't feel like it, like, somehow just trying to work through and keep pushing, even though it feels so horrible. Because I'm, like... demotivated by a lot of things these days. Like it's like I wanna be successful in one sense, but it's like successful in this society that marks success by how much like money I have, you know what I mean?
Well, what do you define as success?
The thing is, I don't even really think I know anymore, because like I'm so fucked up right now. It's like I don't even care about much, or as much as I would like to. You know, so it's like, what, do I want it to be a family when it's like in my heart of hearts, I don't even know how I feel about the human race. Like my relationship with women isn't as great as I'd like it to be anymore. Which is partially on me, also partially on the way society's raised women. You know what I mean? Okay. So it's like, I don't know if I want like a family structure like that, because I'd be thinking like, I'm not raising a kid up in this. They have to come from me, and with my fucked up self right now, for me to have to raise them and be honest with it, because I want to be as honest with my children as I can, and then have them deal with this world. Like, it doesn't motivate me to want children. You know what I mean?
I think when you figure out what you want, that's what you get. You know what I mean? I think, like, for better or worse, though, you know? Because, like, when you say, like, society has... define like money, like accumulating wealth as like your success, right? And there are people who follow that path and they're like, well, I want to make a lot of money, and then like all they want is to make a lot of money, and so that's what they end up doing, you know, is they make a lot of ass of money, but that's not in their heart how they've ever really personally defined success. So like because of that, they don't feel successful. You know what I mean? And that just speaks to the fact that like you have to find out like what it is in your heart that you find success. And I'm not just talking to you, but like anybody who's listening and anybody who feels that the same way you feel, which is that if you don't know what you're hungry for, you'll never get fed. You know?
I know what I'm hungry for, but it's problematic.
Why is it problematic?
Because I'm hungry for the destruction of corruption in the world, so horrible shit like this doesn't happen in the first place.
But that's not problematic. That means
it's
that
problematic when you're ready to get violent about it every like 2 to 4 seconds.
But then don't get violent about it.
I don't. Figure out, like, it doesn't help me feel better.
End corruption or be like an inquisitor or some shit. I don't know. But like figure it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, like if that's what's in your heart. Like if I feel like the way I feel like is I feel like people are personally like our personalities are set up a certain way on purpose. Like I feel like our personalities are given to us where we are acclimated towards certain things like on purpose so that we can better help the world. You know, like if you have a mind for like building things, then maybe you should be a builder. Like maybe like if you understand what I'm trying to say, like if your talents are situated a certain way or the things that you love are like situated a certain way, I believe that you're truly supposed to go seek that out because that's where you will most benefit society. You know what I mean? So like people who like you say, like you want to root out corruption. That's a valuable thing. That's something that people need in this world is people who actually care about that shit and want to see justice done and end injustice. You know what I mean? That's a real need out here.
Like it's like when I look at the faculties built into like our country that the avenues and lanes you're supposed to use to do that, I like distrust them so much. And then I look back and I'm like, I'm just one person. And it's like, sure, I believe one person can change the world, but I'm in a state right now where I feel so like just confused as to how to do that without getting involved. And it's like, because once I get involved, I feel like it'll all color me a certain way that won't benefit anyone at all. And it's like, and look at what we were talking about today. So it's like, sure, I could go train to be a lawyer or a judge, right? But then you have this court letting off Kyle Rittenhouse, and the system at B is on one part allowing this to be because of how it works. You know what I mean?
My feeling about that has always been that, like, because what you're saying to me makes me feel like you're the type of person that, like, how do I say this? Because I know, like, I have, like, you're, like, speaking to me right now in a way. Real shit. Like, you're right down my alley about this shit. It's like, you're the type of guy that, like, when you say that, like, okay, I hate corruption, I'm like, okay, well, go do something about it. You're like, well, look at the power structure. And that just makes me think of you as this person that, like, you know, the people that they don't go with, like, the flow of things, you know?
No,
so,
I don't
like,
go with the flow. That is a very
okay, so that's, to me, that's not a bad thing. Like, I feel like I'm like that too. So, like, when it comes to just doing shit, when it comes to just doing things in the way that everybody else wants to do them, like, I always have to ask why, you know what I mean? And then I have to figure out, you know, if I can do it better or whatever that is. Like, I don't always like just going along to get along, you know what I mean? And that causes friction or whatever. But, like, that's one of those things, that's one of those personality traits that you either have to accept about yourself or you just let that drive you crazy for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? I feel like when people are like that, but they have like a need or a want for like a place in society that's like every day, like your place is like you want to be anti-corruption, but you don't want to do it that way. That means that you are a person that like thinks outside the box. So therefore you are also a person that are supposed to look at the things that are wrong with the box. And because you're outside the box, you're supposed to make the box better for everybody who is inside it. You know what I mean? You get where I'm coming from in a bit? Because it's like...
Yes, actually, I do.
Because if the system's fucked up and you're the only one that sees it, that means you're supposed to be the person that tweaks it. You know what I mean? And then you bring that new energy, that new world to us.
I don't even disagree with you on that. It's just the problem where I'm at, the impasse where I'm at is I'm like, because, you know, it's like, for instance, we have a 2-party system and people work within that system because on some level they believe in it. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't. And so it's like, I'm supposed to look at how I can do this change, but everybody's so comfortable where they are. And I'm just like, how do I get them to understand where I'm coming from? Because especially with how I'm set up, and I'm apolitical. I'm this like super spiritual, apolitical, black pagan, anti-establishment person, and it's like I don't relate as well to people as people think I do.
Do you understand where you're coming from?
The thing is, I was about to jump to yes immediately, but the truth is, it's like only partially, and I'm just trying to figure it out. But I'm also focused on different goals because, like, I'm an artist, and there's a part of me who the part of me that embraces artistry is because, like, I feel in terms of expressing myself and be able to build a living off of expressing myself, like, I'll be able to basically distance myself and not have to deal with as much other than doing that. And that feels simpler. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the other part of me is like, really just like, I just wish I could make the world a place where people aren't hurting all the fucking time. But I don't know how to successfully do that in the blink of an eye because that's unrealistic. And I'm just like, when I get to the truth that I can't do it like that, it puts me in such a horrible place because it's like, that's what we need. You don't compromise with fucking evil. You don't go, hey, all right, this person is, burning in a fire. Let's wait a little bit to put them out. That it's not too bad. It seems like they can take it. We'll wait until it's like really bad. Or it looks like we're going to have to take our time putting out the fire. It's like, no, you put the fire fucking out. You take that person out of the building.
I like using you as an example. Jesus Christ, I will never learn how to talk. I like using you as an example for shit like this because I feel like there's so many people who are at an impasse in their life, or they're like in our stage of life where like you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do next? Or I have this passion burning in me, and what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Yeah. Because like you are like a really good example about that, because like I think people tend to look at you and like see like somebody who is okay or like put together, you know what I mean? And that makes you like a really good template for a lot of shit, you know what I mean? And so like if you could say like, like when I ask you like, do you know what you're talking about? And you're like, kind of, you know what I mean? I'm like, that means you need to go like imagine in school they like gave you a test and they're like, hey, this is the test, this is all the shit we got to know, and then like the test is going to test you on how much you know. And then like you get like a C. Well, that means like you kind of knew what the fuck you were talking about. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. So like that means like if you're you're grading yourself basically, and you're saying that you deserve a C based on what you know about yourself. That means you need to study some more. You know what I mean? That means you need to study some more about like what is burning inside of you and what is it that you're trying to say about your shit. You know what I mean? Like that's all. Like I like you get like people do get down and upset about it, and like there are people besides just you who are like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, go sit down with yourself and figure out what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like you're the one that like, it's not like, I get what you're saying when you say like the world is like this and the world is like that. It's like, yeah, but like you're here. Like y'all have heard me say that before. It's like, yeah, but like you're here, which means like, and it's really one of the rare moments when I'm not being a dick when I say it. It's like, no, for real. Like I come off a certain way, but like I'm really trying to like not be, I'm really trying to be as helpful as I can be when I say like, you're here, you have a purpose, you matter, and you have these passions burning inside of you for that reason. Like that's what that shit is. And that's going to gnaw at you until you sit down and you actually fucking like figure out what all these things mean inside of you. Like if you're a person that like you're like you said, like yours to me is a little easier than most, because like you say like you hate corruption and you want to like solve these things, you don't want to be inside the system, and then you have an acclamation
because you don't just go in and like all of a sudden change shit.
But you also have an acclamation towards art and artistry, and that's like just art has been like the one thing that is always like talked about the system and changed things outside of the system, because it always made people think about like what their condition is, because art is the human condition. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah.
So that's what I mean. I'm like, your shit is like, it's like right there. It always is like that. Like our shit be like right in front of our face. Like the shit we do be right there in front of our face.
Well, you know,
to,
that
like,
is
help
why I'm
shit.
an artist. But you know, and I hate to fucking quote Kylo Ren. But bro, it's like for me, it's almost as simple as like, I know what I have to do, but I'm just not sure I have the strength to do it.
That's fucked up. I hate that line, because he killed Han Solo right after that shit.
I know,
That's
which is horrible.
That's really,
which was a horrible place for that line.
Yeah, that is a really fucked up.
Because I could never kill my father if I even tried. But that phrase though, like, that's how I feel in terms of like what I'm doing on my path in life. It's because I want to be, you know, that person doing all these things. But it's like, I'm really not sure I have the strength to do it. And it's like, I keep pushing towards the goal regardless, but it like wears me down, because I'm just like, I'm like, yo, I really don't know sometimes. And maybe that's a confidence thing for me, but it does seem like a lot. And it's like, am I the only one like who's going to be capable of putting it in a way that's necessary for people to get? And it's like, yeah, I'm an artist, but like artists like that end up missing, dead, or like ignored.
I mean, it depends.
Where you
on,
just
like, how
don't
far
make
you're
it.
willing
You know
to
what I
go.
mean? The problem is, and this isn't the final form, and I hope I live to see the final form. But it's like, I'm the type of dude, like, and especially how I've been feeling lately. Like, I think about negative interactions with like police or like the government all the time, and it's just like, and I always go to that. All right, well, I'm basically dying for this shit. So who's coming with me is the final question. Because like I'm going out.
Are you though, Mitch? I'm gonna.
I don't know, Logan, and
like,
I don't ever want to find out, Logan, because the way it feels in my heart of hearts is like that.
I feel like it should burn in your heart like that, and I believe that you probably do have that feeling. But like, what do you do to prove that you have that feeling? And I'm not trying to provoke you. I'm not trying to provoke you to violence. I'm not trying.
No.
You know,
no. I don't think that.
It's really for the FBI.
Anyway.
It's really for the FBI.
It's really for the FBI. You know, Mitch, like, you know, yeah, because I know you would never do that. Wait.
Yeah, it's like I know you never do that, but like what I mean is in the most healthiest sense of the way. You know, like what are you really putting your hands on?
Like, well, the thing is, and that's why I'm the way I am. And that's why it's like, there's battle going on inside of me. Cause that's what I want to be doing. Cause you're like, what do you want to do? And it's like that. But I'm like, yo, think about the effect that'll have around you.
I think that's
I'm not an
just built up pressure.
person.
I think that's built up pressure from not doing, to be honest.
Well, that's what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. And because I'm not doing, cause you know, there is like that tug and pull, like you, cause we all know you're capable of doing things. But we also know that there is a, you know, reaction, you know, to your actions.
Yeah, there's consequences to your actions.
You know what I'm saying? And
Always.
It's like, and I could use another example, bro. Do you know, if I was capable, do you know how quickly I would have France refund that billion they took from Haiti all that time, keeping us from becoming Wakanda? Do you know how much I'll die for this shit nigga force to be living in me when I think about like, yo,
right.
Y'all better do right by Haiti before I fucking destroy every fucking city I can. You know what I'm saying? Type shit, bro. It's just like, that's just how my brain be working. That's why I fuck with Uchihas from Naruto. People are like, yo, they went too far. And I'm like, nah, they failed. They didn't go far enough.
That's not right.
That's not right. And that's who I am, right. Bro. That's how I feel, bro. You gonna do right. Like, cause it was wrongdoing. You don't compromise with evil. You don't compromise with corruption. You get that shit out and you set right what they set wrong is how I feel about shit.
Yes,
but it's like, but I'm not the type of person who wants to like put people's lives in an upheaval. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm too sensitive. Like, I don't want to cause anybody any like, but at the same time I do. And there's like this fucking battle going on within me. And I'm just like, God, why does it have to be like this?
Yo, that's so funny, though.
Sensitive gangster. Sensitive gangster, nigga.
I want to start the revolution, but I'm too sensitive for that
man. Like, come on. I can't just drop the guillotine on that dude's dad. Like, he takes him to school every morning.
Oh my God. Yo,
which is some real fucking shit, bro. It's like it's someone's something, someone's father, someone's friend, someone's mother, daughter, cousin. So what you telling
me is you can't eat the rich because they might have kids.
I'm sorry, my moral fiber is just
I can't eat Jeff Bezos because what if he has children?
Bezos Jr. You know what I'm saying? What if he only gets half the billion instead of the full thing? Yeah. But no, like seriously, because it's like, that's why wars happen, and we all know. Neither of us have even experienced a war, Logan, but we're so like attuned.
You mean like been
in a war, actually had to experience, but we're so attuned to like pain, and we just such empathetic people where it's like I would never want to put somebody through that. I would never want to go through that. I would never want to put a society that it sets everything back. It's the entire antithesis to like spiritual growth and development, unless you're fully fighting for like the right thing.
I am of the mind that like what is necessary and what is inevitable will happen anyways. So like some shit you just can't stop and some shit you just need to pop off, right? Like if sometimes enough is enough.
Not that we're talking about anything specific, FBI.
Yeah, I'm not talking about anything specific.
Do that.
But
wink, wink.
At the same time, I also agree that like I'm just not gonna start shit for no reason, like just ruin everybody's day for like no reason. You know what I mean? Like, no, I think about that. Bro. It's like, people talk about I
wasn't laughing at you. In my head, I saw a person at a coffee shop like, yo, see man, there go Taekwon trying to start shit again. Like, damn, this is the third time we done had a fucking army battalion pull up in this. I'm just trying to go to work, Tyrone.
Yeah, but no, like for real though, like I think about shit like that, and I hate like that's what I didn't like about the whole Bernie Sanders thing, because he was like, "This is a revolution." I'm like, you're just telling people to go vote. Like it's not.
Yo, shut up, I'm mad you said that like it was a bad thing though. Like you said that like you don't do that exact same thing, Logan, which made me go crazy,
bro.
Call
it a revolution, and it's the same shit. It's regular shit. Like, so I hate when like people are like, I really want to pop off, and like it's like, no, you don't. You don't want to be. You are so American. You don't want to live in a country where like shit is like falling apart like all the time. Like we have our problems here, but like people like would really lose their. You guys can't even handle fucking masks. Are you kidding me? Like, so it's not like people need to calm down sometimes when they talk about like, what they would do. And if like the government rose up and what they would really, they wouldn't do shit. Like even like the rednecks that were like trying to take over the Capitol earlier this year, they were falling off of scaffolding and shit. Like it was like, come on, like you guys are horrible at this shit. You guys don't know what you're doing. Stop it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do get you on. No. Because it's like we've been conditioned. That is one other thing. You know what I mean? Especially if we're talking about the freedoms thing again, we've been conditioned to be comfortable and maintain the status quo. And that's why I'm like losing my mind, because it's like I'm really just not down for that. It's like if the status quo, it doesn't matter how good things are in the status quo. If there's even one bad thing happening, end the status quo and fix that thing, even if it costs everything.
I think, getting back on track, though, you should really sit down. And this is for anybody out there who feels the same way Mitch does. You should sit down and journal and like see what type of positivity you can bring out of this. Like, what can
you're definitely right about that.
Like,
you're definitely
what
right
is the most positive and what is the most good you could do? And I say that very carefully because like some of y'all would go write in the journal and become the next Unabomber and some shit and be like Logan said, and I was like, no, I said to go find something constructive to do. Don't like start a children's center, do like real shit.
Building bombs isn't constructive.
No, it is.
It seems
not.
Very constructive.
No, it's not constructive at all. Like, don't
I have to construct bombs.
No,
it's not constructive.
You sound like
I'm
Gru from Despicable Me. Like,
yeah, my fault.
Yeah,
but
no,
but no, like, and it's just I don't like feeling that way because like I'm a really non-violent well, although lately I'm like,
you should make some art. I think you should be focused on what type of art can you make that says something, but says what's going on inside of you. Like, that's an expression. Like, art should be that. You know what I mean? Like, art should be like what's in your heart manifested in front of you. I feel that way. That's how I feel.
I really just gotta figure it all out.
Yeah.
But like, it was such a bad day today. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like I'm having more and more of them, and it's like it's almost as if like. Because, of course, I love creating art because it does say something. But I'm at a point where it's like I don't just want to be saying something. I got to be doing something, too. And it's like I'm feeling like as if art isn't even just enough anymore. And now I'm like, yo, Mitch, stop trying to, like, lead some fucking group and, like, cause an insurrection and stuff like that. But I'm like... And you know, I grew up on like fucking anime and superhero comics and shit like that, so it's just all in my head. Like, no, like, you gotta be doing the right thing.
But you say that, but like that's art, and that's what inspires you.
I know.
So like those people did a lot.
Those people did inspire me, but at the end of the day, did they inspire me enough? Did they inspire us enough? Like, I carry some of those values, but overall, society doesn't, and it's because like the art isn't. It's not even to just like. Put down art because I could never do that. It's just to say like, I'm
saying. That's a lot of work that somebody.
It does something, but it's like it's not the final step. Like, sure, because changing consciousness is important, but like, what do we do once enough people are like, enough is enough?
Like, I was like watching. I told you guys last week I started Sarah on Naruto, right? So we started at the beginning, right? So like we was like before like the tuning exams and everything like that.
Ah, yes.
It's real good. Like it's bad, but it's good, but it's good, but it's bad. You know, like she complained. She goes, why do they stop to talk for 15 minutes in the middle of a battle? Like, just be like,
just doesn't understand the ways.
Yeah, that's valid. Like, you was supposed to be fucking this person up. You telling your whole life story right now. It's like, that's not how a street fight happens, right? But like, you listen to the show, and like, it's really about like believing in yourself and shit like that. And like, that's some powerful shit.
Also,
if you're 12,
that's mostly Naruto too. Until she gets on later, it's mostly Naruto where to talk to people. Everybody else pull up with smoke. Like,
Haku was talking a lot, and Kakashi. Well, that's because
Haku was trying to tell Naruto and Sasuke, guys, y'all are young. I don't want to kill y'all in front of these adult men. Just go home. True. Go run home. And Haku actually cared was the problem. Zabuza and Kakashi was just full on smoke, bro. Just pulled up. It was on some smoke. Smoke. Who wants smoke?
I love those episodes. Those are like some of my favorite shits because like it's like way into early, and like I just remember watching that for the first time like as a kid. Shit turned up. Yeah. And like I was like, what is this shit? Oh, that was so funny when like I showed you and Claire the first like intro I've seen, because like for people who don't know, like if you watch anime, like they changed the intros. Yeah, they changed the intro. Leap, like that shit. Like, rise, dude.
Yeah, I know. That intro never existed in Japan. I don't think.
Never. I was like, what? I was like, because like the episodes I started Sarah on, totally different intro. Like, I've never heard this intro ever in my life. No, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't that. No, it was like some weird.
We are fighting dreamers.
I know that one. I know that one too.
So the one I don't exactly remember the one before.
They changed it again. Like it's like some 80s pop shit. Like it's like some imitation 80s pop shit. Like they always change it's so weird because like American TV, like the intros and outros are so sacred. Like you can't like they're like the branding, man. And it's like anime's like I don't give a fuck. This song bops.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like like a full A&R team pulls up and it's like, all right, what you got, Toshido? And Toshido's like, all right, well, I just got a little bit of this. They're like, nah, I don't think that aesthetic matches. We're gonna need to pull up some bass. You know what I'm saying? Who you got on them vocals? Nah. Get me Japanese P. Diddy on the phone right now.
Japanese P. Diddy.
I don't know who that person is.
Listen,
like in real life.
But no, it's true. And like with anime, it's so weird because they'll go from like murdering like 8 people in the show to like, and like it'd be like, yeah, bro, straight up. And like the song be like all soft and shit like that. Like, and it'd be like, I just watched like 12 people die. What are you guys talking about right now?
They're like, yo, what you mean the episode's over?
The episode's over. That was yesterday's.
I'm just trying to make sure you don't kill yourself after what you just seen. Just listen to
the calm music.
Listen to the music, all right? Just listen to the calm music, bro. Like, Jesus.
Touch the furry wall and listen to the calming music.
So that's all you need, bro. Like, just relax. Till the next episode. Till I do it to you again. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
episode. Da.
Listen.
Sorry.
It's Thanksgiving. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I want to get out of here early.
I was going to ask, but I didn't want to.
No, for real. No, I see how you look.
Don't say that out loud to people. Take that shit back right now and tell me I'm beautiful.
No, yeah, I mean, you're pretty, but you're sad. And you're sad and you're pretty. It's pretty sad. Anyways.
Y'all have to excuse me. I'll be back in
Never.
6 minutes. I'll be back in
6
well,
minutes?
okay.
Yeah,
maybe like 16. I'm gonna need 10 for some specific work to do.
That would be so funny. Like one episode, you like ran over here to kick my ass on camera, and it's just like,
bro. When we get video up, I'm gonna dead try to do that. Just run up, and be like, yo, where'd Mitch go? Or run back, like, yo, hey, is Logan okay?
You just be like, yo, I'm going to the bathroom real quick, and then you show up in my house, and you just.
Yo, we didn't mention Claire one bit. Actually, we completely forgot.
Oh yeah, she.
I'm gonna do it. You didn't care.
Yeah,
Claire got a new job. Everyone. So Claire's been she's I don't want to say struggling, but she's been trying to do her best to make ends meet and stuff, and she hasn't been working in her field. But recently, she got a position at like some prestigious university or something of that nature, and like she couldn't say no and had to make sure she got that work. You know what I mean? She got Ben to feed. You know what I'm saying?
She got Ben to feed.
She got Ben to feed. She ain't worried about y'all like that, even though she is. But like that's important to her. Period. And it's also going to help her, do better financially. So she had to go on and do that.
Shout out to her for the come up.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because all we is happy for her right now. Go get that, Claire. Go get that shit, Claire. That's what we talking about, Claire.
Even when she's not here, you're still our hype man.
That's because I know she eats me.
We should have did what you're thankful for as the last bit, but I'm a mess. So, anyways,
me too.
What do you have to say to the people? Before we get out of here, let's get out of here. What do you got to say to the people?
Fuck. It's very hard sometimes, everybody. I don't know if it's as hard for you as it feels for me, because I don't know your life, but like, it really is a hard knock life sometimes. Whether your things are going well for you or things are going bad. But regardless, there are things in this world to be thankful for that are worth fighting for. And I just think it's about that time we started fighting more. But other than that, Thanksgiving is around the corner, so I hope y'all have a great Thanksgiving. I hope y'all thankful for something in this world. And overall, I just hope the rest of the week treats you well. And so does the rest of your life.
All right. What I want to say is, fuck Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't give a shit. He's a kid.
Fuck that dude.
Fuck him. All right. Y'all killed up Trayvon, and y'all said that George was the one that was at self-defense, and now you want to say that Kyle's the one that's self-defense. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all and fuck Kyle too.
Indeed.
Happy Thanksgiving. I don't know. I like Thanksgiving, but at the same time, it's a bad holiday. It's not.
It's problematic. No, Columbus Day was a bad holiday.
No, they both
Thanksgiving is
killing Indians in both holidays. It's not good.
Whoa. No, I guess
no. But what did they also call it? They also call it like Happy Indigenous Day, or
well, Columbus Day doesn't exist anymore, and if it does, you're an asshole. The only thing I recognize is Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, Indigenous Peoples Day.
Because that's the only
thing that happened on that day. But didn't they name Thanksgiving something like that too?
I don't remember.
I think they tried that with Thanksgiving too. I don't know. But if there's a more, friendly term for Thanksgiving, I hope you celebrate that thing. Or celebrate Friendsgiving with your friends. I like that one.
Friendsgiving's cool.
Friendsgiving is kind of cool.
Yeah. I was probably going to invite you.
I know. We moved to the city at the wrong time. I was just thinking about that. Like, it was like, you didn't give nobody time to prepare. Just hop in October. Who does that? Like in the middle of holiday season,
like, damn.
I'm here. Invite me.
Like,
Anyways, but no, like enjoy the time you have with your family. Enjoy being with each other. Don't be an ass on Black Friday. Be very, very nice. I know some of y'all got Black Friday things to do, which that's really horrible that that's even a thing. But like while y'all doing it, don't be a dick to like the retail people and the service people that are out there who are also not enjoying at this time Thanksgiving with their families, because like Black Friday gets backed up like way past like Friday every year. It's like the year before last, Black Friday started on Thanksgiving, and then before then it like started the week of Thanksgiving, and then it was just Black Friday and y'all crazy asses the whole week. So listen, be a good person. That's all I'm trying to say. Just be a good person. Really look at the person in front of you who's been working since like 5 a.m. to get you that special toy or whatever, or video game or whatever, and realize that they have been up since 5 a.m. dealing with assholes just like you, and just give them a break. Okay. Just this time, just give them a break, or at least this time, if not anything else. I don't have much else than that. Have a good one. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good morning. Have a good ride to work, especially if you're one of our Black Friday people, like, and have a good time, and like, hide one of your earpods and listen to the show while you while you doing that Black Friday bullshit. Listen, let's get out of here. Say bye to the people, Mitch. It sounded like an orgasm in Ghost. Like it was like real surprise. Ooh. I'm saying bye to the people now. I'm your host, Logan. This is episode 30. We're 30.
Right.
Yeah.
This was fucking 30.
Yeah,
shit.
It's real 30.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
This has been the Milk and Toast Podcast. See ya.